life, bitch. You know we got it on us. We've been quiet for too long, bitch. We've been quiet too long.
Clear who started the drama first. That is unknown here. What we know is words were exchanged. Now, some people are...
On December 23rd, 2025, Quadaja Johnson walked into that Chicago courtroom for her second hearing. And what happened after she walked out? Well, let me tell you, things got absolutely chaotic. But before we dive into that madness, if you're new to shadow crime and you want to stay updated on cases like this where justice seems to move at its own pace, do me a favor, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and click that bell icon so you never miss an update. Trust me, you're going to want to follow how this one unfolds. Now, let's talk about Romeca Meeks. This wasn't just another statistic, another headline that fades away after a few days. This was a 31-year-old mother who got up on September 8th, got her 6-year-old son ready for school, and drove into class like she did every other morning. Except that morning, in Chicago's South Loop, her entire world ended at 9:06 a.m. on Cermak Road. Shot multiple times. Dead at Stroger Hospital. And the person holding that gun? Her ex-boyfriend's current girlfriend, Quadaja Johnson. But here's where it gets really messy. When Johnson was first taken into custody right after the shooting, they let her go. No charges. Nothing. Can you imagine being Romeca's family? Watching the woman who just killed your daughter, your sister, your mother, walk free? The community went absolutely crazy. Social media exploded. The Justice for Romeca movement started gaining traction because people knew something wasn't right about this whole situation. It took nearly 3 months. 3 whole months before authorities finally arrested Quadaja Johnson on December 3rd, 2025, charging her with first-degree murder. Her first court appearance on December 4th was packed. I mean standing room only. Romeca's family and friends showed up wearing pink shirts in her memory. So many people that the judge had to move everyone to a bigger courtroom. During that first hearing, we learned some pretty interesting things. Johnson had actually filed a stalking no-contact order against Romeca back in 2024. It was granted in July, but here's the thing, it was never served. Never officially delivered to Romeca. Johnson has a valid FOID card and a concealed carry license, which means she was legally allowed to have that gun. And when she tried to claim self-defense, you know what the judge said? He basically shut that down immediately, saying that celebrating in the street after shooting someone, giving fist bumps while a woman bleeds out on the pavement, that's not self-defense. That's not how any of this works. Johnson was denied bond and sent straight to Cook County Jail. But that was just the beginning.
You gonna see people the rest of your life, bitch. You know we got it on us. We've been quiet for too long, bitch. We've been quiet too long. You pussy ass nigga. You fake ass carrying ass nigga. You gonna see people the rest of your life, bitch. That bitch Holly, bitch. You pussy ass nigga. You should have told her who the fuck we was.
Boy, they just beat the white shit like
You gonna see people for the rest of your life, bitch. You should have told Holly who the fuck we was. We've been too quiet here. This is a real trouble, bitch. You confused. You know exactly who the fuck we are. You ruined that girl's life and you killed my sister, bitch.
Get it, man. You doing with your bitch ass, boy.
It's okay, y'all will be out. Y'all will be out. Y'all will be out. It's okay. I'm stealing now.
An attorney is obviously going to argue my client is pregnant, she had no prior criminal history, she should be let out. That did not happen. That did not happen at all in court. What ended up happening was she was not let out yet again. So this is the second time. And in fact, she will reappear in court on January 7th. Here's where it gets interesting. Quadaja Holly Johnson's family was let out first out of the courtroom. And that they lingered a little bit in the hallway. And then after that, Romeca's family was let out, but there was still leftover from supporters of Quadaja Holly Johnson. it was not clear who started the drama first. That is unknown here. What we know is words were exchanged. Now, some people are saying that Carlos approached the family. Okay, that's what some people are saying. Some people are, and the family being Romeca's family. Then other people are saying that it was the opposite. Okay, that it was the opposite, and that the family approached Carlos or said something to Carlos. I don't know which one is true. It's both sides. In the video that we have, you hear both sides. It's no indication of who kicked it off in our video from when the argument transpired in the hallways of the Layton Criminal Courthouse. You hear both sides saying something there. T.T. Barfield, who recorded video outside, where you hear Romeca's sister basically saying, "You ruined that girl's life." That was words that she was hurling at Carlos. So that Carlos is then put in handcuffs, brought back in the courthouse, and then family members of Romeca too. So who knows how this is going to play out. The judge has a very big job here. The judge's number one job in terms of the functionality of the courtroom, of the proceedings, is safety. That is the number one thing here. I do know is 3 people were arrested. So, and I did hear that as well, that Carlos was jumped. That is what I've heard too. So there's been different things and varying accounts of what I heard. I heard he approached the family, and as a result, he got jumped. Okay. Of things. They will have an official narrative of what happened, and they will also be able to tell me if indeed all 3 individuals that we see in that video, if they were charged as a result of the fight outside of the courtroom. And now the next hearing could be, the judge could easily say, you know what? We will only have immediate family here. They should be able to give us a narrative of what unfolded, because they had on body cameras and they were already outside before the fight jumped off.
Right there? Oh.
Fast forward to December 23rd, and this is where things really start to unravel. Johnson's back in court for what should have been a routine status hearing at the Layton Criminal Courthouse. Now, I wish I could give you all the juicy details about what exactly went down inside that courtroom, but here's the frustrating part. The media coverage on the actual hearing itself is pretty limited. What we do know is that after Johnson walked out of that courthouse, chaos erupted. And I mean actual chaos. Think about it for a second. You've got Romeca's family, who've been waiting months for answers, wearing their pink shirts, showing up to every single court date. They want justice. They want accountability. They want someone to explain why their loved one is gone. And on the other side, you've got Johnson supporters. And yes, she has supporters, people who believe her version of events. When these 2 groups collided outside that courthouse, it got tense, really tense. Now here's what's really eating at people, and I want you to think about this with me for a minute. Remember I told you about Carlos Smith Sr., Romeca's ex-boyfriend and the father of her 6-year-old son? The same man who, according to multiple witnesses, wasn't just standing there watching this whole thing go down. Witnesses said he was actively involved. They said he hit Romeca repeatedly with her own car door. They said he came up behind her and put her in a chokehold, striking her while he had her restrained. They said after Romeca broke free from him, that's when Johnson ran to the car, grabbed a gun, and started shooting. And you know what's wild? After Romeca was lying there on the ground, unresponsive, bleeding out in the middle of that street, witnesses reported seeing Carlos and Johnson give each other a fist bump, like they just won something, like a woman's life wasn't literally ending right in front of them. So naturally, everyone's asking the same question. Why hasn't Carlos been arrested? Why hasn't he been charged with anything? Not even assault? Not even as an accessory? Nothing? After that first court hearing back in December 4th, Carlos actually spoke to reporters. He stood there on camera and said, quote, "It was unbelievable, but I was there and I know for a fact none of that happened how they explained it." He promised that his truth would come out, that people would understand his side of things. But here we are, weeks later, and his truth, we're still waiting for it.
Something right there? Oh. Carlos just got his ass beat by my motherfucking brothers. I done missed all that shit. Can I go to my mom?
Go to your mama, bro. talking about? If your mom over there?
My OG over there, man. My mom over there.
Stay over here. I don't need you going over there and creating more.
All right, just don't touch me, G.
Just stay back. Stay on the
Don't
sidewalk.
touch me. I'm on the sidewalk. I'm on the sidewalk. I'm on the sidewalk.
I got him. Get the fuck over here. What the fuck is you doing? Get the fuck away from them. They said move, just move.
I'm doing just that.
All right, just move out that way now. Hoe ass nigga, you think you sweet? Bitch over there, busting his head. You wearing that bitch ass now. Y'all think them dreads don't... Yeah, y'all think them dreads don't save y'all.
Where'd my brother go?
They locked him up. Him and, what's up?
Fuck, man.
Fuck is wrong with y'all? Y'all study, they asking us to leave, we leaving. They study antagonizing fucking with us. Come on, we can't leave. He study stopping saying shit. He ain't never fought. Then we did everything they said. We walked out of here, he walked right out of here and said some slow shit. Fuck out of here. Who the fuck gonna keep letting somebody keep talking crazy to them, act like they wanna fight them? We ain't never trying to fight them. We did everything he told us. Right, he walked out on the same bullshit after they told us to leave and we left. Fuck. Ain't nobody antagonizing them. We did with everything they said to do. I don't give a fuck. I told her you should have told your client to leave.
I went through this last year with my brother. I lost my brother. We went through this same thing. We still doing it.
We doing everything they telling us to do and they still fucking with us and now we gotta be in the wrong. Fuck. They ain't lose their family. We lost motherfuckers. Ain't none of they people dead. Man's here. Fuck out of here. Man, you didn't whoop both of them.
He came out the cut and cracked their
Came out the cut and they said, well, what the fuck did Lil Ty do? He came out the cut, all I see is chicken. Lil Ty didn't put somebody's shit open. I don't know what happened.
That nigga just told me to go to the car and go grab his phone.
Low's whole mouth leaking. Yeah. Yeah. What you talking about? You think you tough? You want to run up on these dudes? What happened? What happened?
The thing that keeps gnawing at me, and I know it's bothering a lot of you watching this too, is the complete silence around Carlos's involvement. We've got witness testimony. We've got people who were there that morning saying they saw him physically assault Romeca before the shooting even happened. And yet, he's walking around free. No charges. No arrest. Nothing. Meanwhile, Johnson sits in Cook County Jail, 7 weeks pregnant when she was arrested, waiting for her trial to begin. And look, I'm not saying Johnson shouldn't be held accountable. She pulled that trigger. Multiple times. Romeca died from those gunshots. But when you got witnesses describing what sounds like a coordinated attack, when you got two people allegedly celebrating together while a mother lies dying on the pavement, how does only one person end up in handcuffs? Make that make sense. What really gets to me is thinking about Romeca's 6-year-old son. This little boy who his mom dropped off at school that morning, probably gave her a hug. Maybe said, "I love you," not knowing that would be the last time he'd ever see her alive. And now he's growing up knowing that his father, the man who's supposed to protect him, allegedly played a role in his mother's death. How do you even begin to process that as a child? How does that family explain this to him? The Justice for Romeca movement isn't slowing down. Her family keeps showing up. They keep demanding answers. They keep asking why the full story isn't being told. Why isn't everyone involved being held accountable? And honestly, those are fair questions. These are questions that deserve answers. Johnson's still in custody, and we're waiting to see what her next court date brings. Will there be a trial? Will she take a plea deal? Will Carlos ever face charges for what witnesses say he did that morning? Right now, we just don't know. The case is still ongoing, and the family is still fighting for complete justice. So let me ask you something, and I really want you to think about this. When does accountability actually mean accountability? Is it justice when only one person faces consequences for something multiple people allegedly participated in? Can a family truly heal when they feel like half the story is being ignored? And here's the bigger question. What does it say about our system when witnesses come forward, when they tell investigators exactly what they saw, and yet some people involved seem untouchable? These aren't easy questions, and honestly, they don't have easy answers. But they're questions we need to keep asking. Romeca's family deserves those answers. Her son deserves those answers. And every single person who's been following this case, wondering why things don't add up, you deserve those answers too. If this case has shown you anything, it's that we can't let these stories fade away. We can't let the noise die down just because time passes. Justice doesn't have an expiration date, and neither does our responsibility to keep demanding it. So if you care about seeing this through, if you want to know what happens next in Romeca's case, make sure you're subscribed to Shadow Crime. Hit that notification bell, because we're going to be here covering every single update until this family gets the complete justice they're fighting for. Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Do you think Carlos should be charged? What do you think really happened that morning? Let's talk about it. I'll see you in the next one.